If you've been watching the past couple videos, you know we're in the middle of a fencing project out here at Piney Grove. And like most Piney Grove projects, it's not going as quickly as I want it to, but it's going well. In the last fencing video, Deb and I put in these posts here, and then before dark, I put in a couple more posts. And I actually had to yank that one out down there because I couldn't get it in line. So I had to pull it out and redig the hole. But this end of the pasture is now completely done. So yesterday it was kind of iffy on the rain, so I decided to spend the time that it wasn't raining to get more supplies. So leave a comment down below. What do you think this trailer load of supplies cost? What we have here is 60 T-post. We have a Tartar 16-foot gate. We have a Tartar 12-foot gate. We have 5 of the bigger 6 by 7 inch posts, and then we have 20 of the smaller posts. And I think that was it, other than some T-post pins or T-post clips that I got. But leave a comment down below. We'll flash up on the screen here in a few minutes what that cost. And that's just a small cost of this 2-acre fence. We got Chief and Charlie looking for a little shade. It's cool out here today, or fairly cool, so they're fine. They won't get a lot of shade until the sun gets over a little farther. But what's up, cows? They're getting so big. Every day I think they're looking bigger. It's funny because to us they look so big, and we've got, you know, the benefit of every video from every day. I mean, we have a video from every day that they've been here, and to us they look like they've grown so much, and they have based on the video. But when you see them next to us in person, like right now, you go, oh, they're not that big. But they are way bigger than they were when they first got here. But what we're going to do today involves the mini skid steer here, but it does not involve this auger. So we'll just auger this in the ground to keep it vertical, because we'll be using it in a day or two. Just going to put it in the ground far enough to keep it vertical. These quick disconnects have a little notch on them. And if you don't line up that notch, that line is not coming off. But when you do line up the notch, it comes right off easily. Free and clear. Let's go put on a different attachment. This mini skid steer has been such an asset for us out here at Piney Grove. And getting that auger, the hydraulically driven auger, was a game changer for putting in post. Really enjoyed putting in post with that and not having to look over my shoulder like with the tractor auger that's behind you on the 3-point hitch. We also have a grapple for this, a set of forks and a bucket, but by far the most satisfying, fun, and useful attachment we have for this is this forestry mulcher. The things that this thing can do for being so small, the places it can go, and how fast it can clean up an area are just incredible. And I got, I don't know, 3 videos out already on this thing. So what we're going to be doing today is, let me turn it off, is I've got an area that I've formerly planted some things in. It's in between our pine rows over here. It's kind of thick, and this spring I planted iron clay peas, and the peas did well in the middle of the pine trees in the rows, and fed the deer and just, you know, covered the soil so it wasn't bare and prevented weeds and stuff from growing. Well, those are done with for the year, and I want to plant some grains in there for the deer and also as a cover crop. So I did that already. It came out great over here, but I wanted to do that in this other area, and the only way to do it is to get in there and clean it up with some sort of cutting device. So I could use a brush hog on the tractor. I could even maybe use a tiller, but the vines would get wrapped up in the tiller. And all those would work, but it's really tight working in there. So this machine really is the best machine for putting in this food plot. And it's not really even a food plot, but it's just an area that I want to plant and just prevent Mother Nature from taking over. These are flat face couplers, and they go on, or that last one went on really, really nice. I mean, it just popped right on. I don't know how this one will go. But when hydraulic lines go on like that, that is nice, because it doesn't always happen. This has 3, because it's high flow, and it has a case drain. All right, let's see if the hydraulic lines are right. Should be spinning towards you. And they are. While we're up here at the shop, we'll go ahead and check the oil. Fill her up with diesel fuel. So I was driving the mini skid steer across the pasture, and I looked up and I saw Charlie. Well, Charlie's not supposed to be out. So I looked over at the gate, and I don't know if Chief feels like he's trapped or what, but he's just laying there. He's just sitting there chewing his cud. Yeah, we just won't lean it against there anymore. I mean, we didn't even have wind. It's plastic. Yeah, and he didn't even move. Just walk in the pen. I'm going to get her. Hi. We're fenced all the way around the property, so they can't go anywhere, but we don't have great fencing on that side. It's real old cattle wire. Come on, Big Chief. She knows. This is a very, very flimsy gate, and they like it in here, though. They actually will come in here and lay down when it's open sometimes when we're running around in the pasture. But Deb put the lead on Charlie just so she can get her back in the pen. You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, she's like, no. Come here. There we go. Crisis solved, or crisis averted. Problem solved. Chief looks like, when you're up close to him, he looks like that character Alf. If you get real close to him. Was that Morky Mindy, or did Alf have his own?
Alf had his own.
Alf had his own?
Alf was a different alien.
Oh.
You confuse your alien.
Alright, back to our regularly scheduled program. So here's the corner for the fence line inside of the woods here. And this area, all to my right, has been smoothed as much as possible, planted in rye. Wren's a bruisey rye, and it's coming up good considering it has not been fertilized, limed, or anything. So what we're trying to do over here is the same thing. I got my micro food plot right there where I planted half of it, and I want to clean all this up and plant in between these pine rows so that it looks like this over here. Remember when I put fuel in this thing? It's a good thing I did. Oh, there's a snake. Hey, old snaky snake. But it's a good thing I filled it with fuel because it's almost empty with fuel. And you see, you haven't had very much footage because I took off through the woods and went crazy with this thing. I literally just can't stop. When I'm in the woods, like Deb just brought me lunch. It's 2 o'clock. She brought me lunch and a drink. I haven't had anything to drink or eat or anything since the last time I turned the camera on over 4 hours ago. She's still holding together, but I'm low on fuel here. There's a fuel gauge down by my feet. So I still got, you can see the red there. I still got plenty of fuel. She hasn't overheated once. I'm good on hydraulic oil. But I got to refill it and clean the screens and everything, even though it hasn't overheated. But behind me is where I started, and this is what I need to do, is this area right here, so I could plant it. But I knew it would happen, and I just didn't have the discipline to stay focused on that area. But I'll show you what I did, because it's just incredible what this machine can do. I knocked over a couple pines that were diseased. Like all this was just thick, just like it is over there. I just back and forth, back and forth. You can see the carnage, a little bit of brush here that I really couldn't get. Just all the way throughout here, and it doesn't stop. You couldn't see through there. Now you can. If you keep going all the way up through here, any place you can see through to our pasture on the other side, you couldn't see through before. And now it's a lot more open. It's like a drug when I get on this thing. I just start going and I go and I go, and I'm like, that's an oak tree, leave that alone. That's a pine tree, leave that alone. But all this was so thick you could not even think about walking through it. And it's not perfectly clean, but I got it. Got it pretty open in there. And what you do is by bringing down all that thick stuff that was 20 feet up and bringing it down and mulching it into little pieces on the ground, you let light get to the ground. You let light get to the ground, then different things can grow. And the more diverse your habitat, the more things you can have. So quail can't live in there. Rabbits can't live in there. There's no place for them to hide. Even though it's thick up top. Down low, it was just like pine straw. So now that'll grow up a year or two, but it'll stay low for many years. And rabbits, quail, deer can browse. Deer aren't going to browse something that's 20 foot tall. They can't reach the good stuff. All right, let's get back into the action. I filled it up with diesel fuel and checked all the oils and everything. And I also blew off the radiator and the hydraulic oil cooler, even though it wasn't overheating. And there was a lot of dust and leaves in there, but it's been running fine. But I also blew out the air cleaner because I just want to make sure it's running in tip-top shape, because I worked it pretty hard. It's just, not 100 degrees out here today. But we're going to take down this cherry tree, and in the past few videos I've been making a big deal about these trees because those leaves can kill your cows, in this case our cows. And I was talking to my neighbor over here, and he has 1,800 head of cattle. And I said, what about cherry trees? Do you worry about them? Do you worry about oak trees? He said he doesn't worry about oak trees. He doesn't worry about acorns, even though we read they're not good for cows. But then again, we have many cows. Maybe they can tolerate less than, say, his full-size cows. But he said he only worries about cherry trees, like if they get hit by a storm and it breaks off a branch or the trunk, and then the leaves are under stress, unnatural stress, as opposed to, I guess, in the fall when they dry up and fall off. So he doesn't worry about it. We're worried about it, and now that I'm keeping my eye out for them, I probably took out, throughout here today, I probably took out 6. None of them very big. This will be the biggest one. I saved it for y'all. But I'm going to get it down on the ground, and then I'm going to chew it up completely, because we don't, even though the cows should never ever be in this area, we don't want to take any chances. And it's a three-pronged tree, so it's got 3 trunks to it. Full throttle. I'm going to go high on it. All right, I got one knocked off. Here it comes. Oh, that fell down, or it's going to fall down perfectly. Oh, that's better. You do a little bit at a time. Oh, that's not better. It's a tough machine, but it can't handle that trunk right there. These are iron clay peas. Look how tall they were up in that tree. That's what I planted for the deer, dry seeds. It just can't handle that, no way. I have completely run out of time. The sun is set. I only got a few minutes left before it's totally dark, but I wanted to show you what I got done. That was a big old pile of brush. I've added some to it, and I also got on top of it with the mulcher and mulched it down a little bit. But what I do is I plant along here. There was a fire break in here, so that was the main area I wanted to get done, but you can see that I did a lot more. Look what I did to this gum tree. I didn't want to take it down because I didn't want to deal with it, so I just made sure that it ain't going to make it, and it'll just sit there and die and then rot, and then when it comes down I'll chip it. There's our fence line where it's thick over there, and I got all of this opened up in here, and it's probably plantable, but I have no need to plant in between every pine, not this year at least. So I want to get at least that fire break there done. So I cleaned up all the way through here, back and forth, and this hasn't been touched, some of it, ever since we bought the property almost 8 years ago. And I did some work over here with the Ventrac from Brad from Copper Creek Cuts, but that had grown up for the 4 years since Brad has been here, and we didn't get it completely clean because his deck was 60-inch wide, and we couldn't get through here and clean everything up or get real close to the trees. Like next to that oak tree, there was a bunch of brush. I was able to get up right up next to it, and I just got to do this little bit here, and this is the easy stuff. There's no big brush here. I just got to clean this up here, and then I'm done. I'll close out with the footage of me finishing that up, but that'll wrap up today's video. We appreciate you guys watching. If you would, click that like button, and until next time, remember, life's short, tractor hard. Check out these two videos right here. They're pretty cool. We'll catch you all in the next one. Take care, you guys.